Coming up tonight, some major appointments and transfers have been the outcome of the Higher Judicial Council, which held yesterday, presided over by the head of state, President Paul Biya. Ndumbe Teki Daniel heads the chamber of the Supreme Court. Peter Nsosi in this newscast will shine the spotlight on some of the resolutions. Still in line with the Higher Judicial Council, Barrister Paul Payere has expressed gratitude in response to the demand of common law magistrates to be transferred to the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. A presidential decree will also constitute tonight's newscast package. And the fight against ghost towns has intensified in the southwest region as some shops have been sealed to sanction those who continue to follow these orders that have crippled the economy of the two English-speaking regions of the country since 2016. Those are top stories. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining the 6 p.m. newscast on Spectrum Television. I am Josephine Bindzi. As announced in the headlines, the head of state and president of the Higher Judicial Council has carried out a vast of personnel in courts and judicial services across the country. The appointments and transfers is the outcome of the Higher Judicial Council, which held yesterday. Peter Nsosi looks at the measure changes and some key points in the following report.
Ndumbe Teki Daniel now heads the administrative chamber of the Supreme Court. The first superscale magistrate, former president of the West Regional Court of Appeal, replaces Andre Bolombe, who passed away last year. The audit bench of the court has also been occupied by Yab Abdul. The former president of the Special Criminal Court occupies the seat that has been vacant since the death of former President Mark Ateba Umbala in December 2018. The head of state and president of the Higher Judicial Council has also proceeded with the appointment of Fokwe Joseph Fongang, who replaces Ipuli Matthias Alo. The Special Criminal Court also has a new president in the person of Annie Noel Balunui Batende. The first female president of this court is noted for having ordered the detention of former Minister of Secondary Education, Louis Bapes, who was released 24 hours after his arrest. All other courts in the country, like the administrative courts, regional courts of appeal, high courts and courts of first instances, have witnessed groundbreaking changes in personnel. The judiciary in Cameroon has seen its first batch of common law magistrates also sent to the field after graduating from the Advanced School of Administration and Magistracy in NAM. No magistrate was sanctioned. According to the Minister of State, Minister of Justice and Keeper of the Seals, no disciplinary file was submitted before the Higher Judicial Council.
Legal experts have hailed the transfer of the common law magistrates to the northwest and southwest regions of the country. According to Barrister Paul Payere, this is a response to the demand of common law lawyers. He, however, expressed some reservations, as we hear Peter Nsosi in the following report.
To some legal experts, the holding of the Higher Judicial Council after the last in 2017 is not in accordance with the law.
Yes, 3 years after. You know that the council is supposed to be any year. So 3 years, it was too much. Because there were so young lawyers to magistrates to come in, to be in function.
The highly awaited sanctions on some magistrates has not come to pass. Judicial experts say that no disciplinary file was submitted before the council.
So many people were thinking that there would be something like tsunami. It's not that tsunami we were hoping, we were waiting for.
The transfer of pioneer common law magistrates is expected to boost the functioning of the judiciary in Cameroon, especially in the northwest and southwest regions where concerns have been raised by common law lawyers.
The things will be calm now because common law can be applied fully. That's the new position, the new things that this council has made that it can be possible.
Legal experts hope that the new judicial team will live up to the task of ensuring the independence of the judiciary and making sure that justice is dispensed in all legality.
And on to this presidential decree, according to law number 2017/010 of July 12, 2017, carrying the general statutes of public institutions, according to law number 2019/024 of 24 December of the Code of Collective Territorial Administration, the decree number 2020/111 of March 2, 2020, carrying the creation and functioning of the National School of Local Administration, states in the following article that His Lordship Muta Usman May is, as from this day, signed by presidential decree, named as the President of the Board of Administration of the National School of Local Administration, NASLA, for a renewable 3 years. The said appointee is also open to other nature of advantages. Professor Elvis Ngole has praised the holding of the Measure National Dialogue as a pathfinder for peace in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. The coordinator of the CPDM Academy was a guest on the program on STV, Her Talk.
Did their work so well that the Major National Dialogue succeeded in ensuring that out of the 700 or so participants who were there, as you know, fact number one, the majority of those 700 came from the northwest and southwest regions, as demanded by the President of the Republic, who was the initiator and organizer of the Major National Dialogue. And anyone can check this. I'm giving this as a fact. Fact number two, the commissions were the work of the commissions were open enough, and every participant was free enough to make their contributions without any fear or favor, without any intimidation, and each person was allowed to say whatever they wanted to say without necessarily having to intimidate or insult the other. And at the end of the day, major recommendations were drawn up. And these major recommendations were approved. They were not only read in the final plenary, they were approved and adopted in that final plenary, which was ably guided by our Prime Minister, who was the chairman of the Major National Dialogue. I mean, he did such a good job, a wonderful job. He was down to earth, he was open to everybody, and he had a listening ear to the ground, and these major recommendations were read, placed before the audience, the participants. They adopted them, and guess what? They were transmitted by the Prime Minister to the President, who was the initiator and organizer, and guess what? The President accepted these major major recommendations.
On to this top story, over to the southwest region of Cameroon, an operation No to Ghost Towns has been launched in Kumba in the southwest region of the country. The non-activities on Monday have been the major reason for the crackdown of the economy in the two English-speaking regions of the country. The mayor of Kumba 2 Council and other authorities have begun the campaign with several strategies put in place, as Catherine Kone tells us in the following report.
Putting an end to Ghost Town Monday remains a preoccupation to authorities in Kumba, chief town of the Mama Division Southwest region of Cameroon.
Decided to take this operation because we wanted this nonsense of Ghost Town to end. And by so doing, that's why I came out today with my team, the DO and everybody in my area, to make sure these stores are sealed. And there was a communique that I set out that people should not close their shops today. And if any store is sealed, They only come to my office after 6 days. I think with that measure, the people are going to change their mind, at least to take instructions from the administration and the community.
At the Kumba main market, the Senior Divisional Officer for Meme Division, Don Chamberlain, accompanied by the city mayor Ngo Nkele, went ahead in sealing shops that keeps respecting the Ghost Town Monday. Their objectives of eliminating the ghost town seems not to be a reality, as most shops still remain closed. Traders whose shops are sealed are expected to pay a huge penalty before they could get access to their business side.
5,000. If your store is sealed on a Monday, you come on the following Monday to negotiate and pay at 25,000. Their store will be open.
Ghost Town Monday, which was instituted by separatist fighters, has been a thorn on the fleshes of authorities whose effort in terminating the ghost town seems fruitless. Maybe more needs to be done than what is being carried out now.
On to our cholera series. The cholera vaccination campaign, which began on August 1 to end on August 14, has given a number of advantages by lowering the risk of contracting the disease and preventing diarrhea, despite efforts deployed on the field by cholera vaccination agents who have been moving from door to door in the Douala 2 municipality. Many people are still indifferent towards the vaccination, as Crystal Asexwele tells us in the following report.
Despite the efforts deployed on the field by the cholera vaccination agents, who have been touring the homes of the new Belbamileke health area, many people are still very ignorant of the existence of the cholera vaccination. I am not aware of this vaccine. I know about the cholera outbreak, but I know nothing about the vaccine. I am not even aware that there is a vaccine against cholera. However, the few who are aware of the ongoing vaccination campaign against cholera don't consider it important to them.
No.
I saw the vaccination campaign agent on the field, but I was not interested. Being at the head of the national ranking of cholera with 790 affected cases and 44 deaths, the population remains lukewarm in receiving this vaccine. However, it is important to underline that there is currently no vaccine inducing long-term protection against cholera. The vaccination campaign ends on August 14, 2020 and is carried out from door to door and in fixed posts in district hospitals.
Hawking in streets and markets have always been the activity that occupies children during the holiday season. Moving around some neighborhoods in the city of Douala, many children could be spotted selling groundnuts, water, bananas, just to name a few, to raise money to enable their parents for the next academic year. Catherine Kone has details.
Holidays are the most exciting moments in the lives of school kids as they get engaged in many activities during this period. While some kids are attending holiday classes, some have to hawk good like peanuts, banana, water amongst others in streets and markets in order to raise money for the new school year. I am selling this because it will help me during back to school. I will pay my fees, buy my bag and other school equipment. To some parents, hardship sometimes push the children to hawk.
Because the condition, the parents not avoid to give them food. That's why they are there. They are selling on the road.
Another says learning a trade is an ideal for children during this holiday period.
I
think parents should send their girl child to hairdressing salon and the boy child to a mechanic shop while waiting for school resumption. Sending them to the street expose them to danger like accidents and illnesses. In Cameroon, school holidays are characterized by scores of young hawkers in the street. whose objectives is to be able to raise money to purchase school items ahead of the next academic year 2020-2021.
And still talking about holidays, preparatory classes to enable some young Cameroonians brace up for the new academic year has begun. Teachers, however, expressed their frustrations as the long stay of children at home has affected the retentive state of their memories. Christel Asexwele explains how these holiday classes are taking place in the economic capital of the country.
It is a general observation that students' brains have gone to sleep after spending close to 5 months at home since the interruption of the school year by the government in March as a result of the coronavirus outbreak health crisis. Here at the Evangelic Nursery and Primary School in Newbill in the Douala II municipality, holiday classes are ongoing to prepare the students on the forthcoming school year in October.
So with these classes, we want to prepare them so that when they end, because most of them, they will move to the next class, they will not repeat. So we intend to prepare them so that when they go to the new class, they will not be, the program for that class will not be new to them. At least they will have idea of what they are to learn in that class. So that's what we intend to do, and we are to do this for about 2 months.
Getting the students' brains back on track is not an easy task for the teachers.
It is not easy. I, for one, I'm in class 3, and in that class, the children are just as if they have not entered class 2. It's as if they have not passed through class 2, because I find myself, I need to do revision for things in class 1 before I get to class 2, before I can succeed with the work of class 3. Yes, I need to take that chronology in order to meet up. So they have forgotten most of the things they have learned in primary 2.
Many other sectors, like education particularly, have been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, with millions of learners out of school.
And on our international page, as South Africa continues to ease coronavirus restrictions, technical experts and public health experts are working on plans to protect the health sector of 14 million South Africans who rely on a complex network of regulated minibus taxis to get to work, school, and many more. Innovators and investors say this could be an African solution to the problem that affects millions of people in Africa and across the world. Details with the VOA.
The humble minibus taxi is a lifeline for more than 70% of South Africa's workforce. But health experts worry this system is a breeding ground for coronavirus because of riders' close quarters and the high volume of passengers. A new South African nonprofit initiative, led by a businessman who is also the eldest son of President Cyril Ramaphosa, is trying to address this gap.
When we insisted as business and as South Africans, let's open this economy, by not dealing with the commute, we basically undid what was happening with lockdown. So if you deal with the transport sector, because COVID is a virus that moves through the transport sector, if you deal with that effectively, you could actually put in an artificial lockdown.
HIV researcher Dr. Jenny Pfeiffer-Kutsia, founder and director of the African Potential Foundation, says her team has come up with several solutions, ranging from simple to complex.
What we're looking at is a system very similar to what's being used in ambulances, and that is to adapt a UVC air filter that allows the airflow to be encouraged within the taxi using various fans within the filter, and air passes through the filter where it's then irradiated within a matter of seconds and is then transferred back out into the taxi to be circulated out within the taxi.
Her team is also considering an alarm system that alerts passengers to open the windows to allow fresh air to circulate, at sanitizing stations that passengers can use to clean their hands before boarding, and at a divider between the driver and passenger. That last intervention, says Ramaphosa's business partner Brad Fisher, is especially crucial. He says the government's efforts at sanitizing taxis only work up to a point.
But you can spray this rank to death unless you get into the taxi, where there's a closed environment, it's a capsule with whatever it is, whether they're 3 or 10 people's academic, that driver gets sick, and statistically, the driver's seeing 2,000 people a month, he's going to get sick.
These measures, say Ramaphosa's team, could decrease the risk of infection by up to 80%. So far, SDI has fitted out 5,000 school transport taxis and 1,000 commuter taxis at an estimated cost of about $340,000, which works out to about $60 per vehicle, much of it provided by donors.
It's been quite a journey of discovery for us non-scientists to bring all these people together with one thing in mind. We need our people to get to work safely, and we need to save lives.
Pfeiffer Kutsia says the team is also looking at how to scale the model to fit other African countries, which use similar transport systems to move millions of people each day. Anita Powell, VOA News, Johannesburg.
Thanks for watching the 6 p.m. newscast. Join the news in the French language with René Nassis-Moto at 8 p.m. From us, it's good night. I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. to bring to you news from around the country. Good night.